Okay. So last day we just been stopped it here, guys. We have seen how to define methods in a class. Basically, 4 different types of methods. So what did I say? Value returning, value returning methods without parameter. Sorry, non-value returning methods without parameters. Second, non-value returning methods with parameters. Third, value returning methods without parameters and value returning methods with parameters. Like this, we just have 4 different classifications or 4 different categorizations of writing the methods, right? Okay, fine. So I shown you 4 examples to you of all the 4 methods, and finally we just been stopped it here. What is that? Where we stopped it? Where to define a method? Where to define a method? Where to define a method? Where do you define a method? Method should be defined inside a class as per the rule of encapsulation. As per the rule of encapsulation, every method should be defined inside a class, and we've done that. We created one project. And by default we have a program.cs with a line in that. I deleted and I just converted everything into a pure object-oriented code like a class with all the 4 methods in the class. Okay, 4 methods in the class. Second, how methods defined in a class gets executed. What did I say? To execute them, we need to call them. We need to call them explicitly. Won't be called implicitly? No. Implicit calling is only for one method. What is that? Main method. That's all. Rest of every method or every member should be explicitly called. Without calling, nothing gets executed. Remember this point. Is it clear? Calling is mandatory. It is not optional. Everything should be explicitly called. If you call, then only the execution takes place. Otherwise, it won't execute. So calling is mandatory. Third point. What is that? How to call? How to call? And I said you clearly. What is it? To call the members, first we need to understand they are static or non-static. They're static or non-static is first we should get a clarity. They're static or non-static is the first what we should get the clarity. Okay, are they static methods or are they non-static methods? We need to have a clarity about it. Tell me now, last class the 4 methods we defined are static or non-static? All 4 are non-static. Clearly said you. How to make it static? By using the static keyword. If you use the static keyword, then only the method becomes static. Otherwise, by default, every method is non-static. So last class, we defined all the 4 methods as non-static. And again, don't be confused. Sir, you said static there. I said static in behavior. I did not say the method is static. Are you clear? What is that? Static in behavior. Behavior-wise, it is going to be static. Guys, move back. Move back or you go back. Move back. Okay. So methods behavior is going to be static, but the method is not static. And static in behavior is opposite to dynamic. The static in behavior is what I'm telling is opposite to dynamic. For dynamic, the opposite is the static what we just used there. Okay. So that is the other thing what we learned. So all these are non-static. Which static, how to call? If these methods are static, how to call? I said prefix the class name and call. Example, console.writeLine, console.readLine, console.clear. You call them daily. They're non-static. We should create an object and call. We should create an object. Till now, we called so many predefined methods now. Yes or not? Parse method we called, try parse method we called. Okay, write line, read line, still, sort, reverse, copy. Remember all these things? Except one method till now, remaining all are static only you called. Except one, remaining all are static only you called. What is that one, sir? What is that one is? Get length. What is that one? Get length. How did you call get length? Do you remember? Did you call array.getLength or arr.getLength? ARR is the object of the class array and you called arr.getLength. But recollect yourself, sort method, reverse method, copy method. How do you call? Array.sort, array.reverse, array.copy, all are static. convert dot 2 into 32, convert dot 2 double, okay, into dot parse, into dot try parse, console dot write line, console dot read line. Every time you prefixed your class name or the type name and called it directly, those are static. Only, sorry guys, not one, only two members till now we used the non-static members. What are the two, you know? One is length, second one is get length. Go and check your notes. Is how did you call them? Is not called as array.length or array.getLength. How did you call? ARR.length and ARR.getLength, where ARR is the instance of the array. Where ARR is the instance of the array. Already said you, array is a class. Array is a class. Now ARR is the instance of that particular class. ARR.getLength and AR.length is what you call. Are you clearer, all of you? So if the methods are static, how to call? Say. Read this. Okay, now directly prefix the class name and call. You done it already. Second point. You need to prefix the object or instance name, not object name. For us, it is instance. We'll use the word as instance from now, not as object. Okay. So fine. Now recollect yourself. How to create the instance of a class? This is the syntax I said here. What comes first? Next. New class name, list of values. List of values is mandatory or optional? Optional. What is your class name? I can't change that. Class name is that. What is this instance name? You can give any name as instance. You use your name as an instance, no problem. That is name of the instance here. Whatever you want to give it. No problem at all. Is equals to new program. List of values are optional. We'll understand when we require that, but as of now, they are optional. I don't require. Okay, and now I should call p dot test one. But last day, remember, if test method is static, how to call, guys? That's all. Program dot test one. Because it is non-static, how should I call? P dot test one. Alright, this is wrong, guys. This is wrong. I'm only giving an idea. If it is static, how to call? But that is not static. That is not static. If it is static, I can call like that. But that is not static. Remember that point. So how should I call? P dot test one. What is P? P is the instance. Okay. P is the instance now. Okay. So P is the instance for you in that case now. So like this, we are just going to create an instance and call. So now I need to call all four methods by using instance only. Now I need to call all four methods by using instance only. Clear now? Now the next question is, where should we create the instance of a class? That is the next question. Where to create the instance of a class? Or where should we create the instance of a class? Did you understand my point? Where should I create the instance? Any guess? Srikanth, static class, non-static. Static class doesn't contain non-static at all here. Wait here, why are you worried about all these things? I'll tell you now, wait. Where should we create the instance of a class? Inside? Inside class, everything will be inside the class only here. You don't write anything out of the class now. Then again, especially you're telling inside the class. Where? Inside main method. Well, basically inside main method, generally we do that, but that's the wrong answer. That's the wrong answer. Tomorrow, if you're asked this question in the interview, answering as main method is wrong answer. So what should I do? Listen. The instance of a class can be created either within the same class or, first understand that here, you can create instance not only in the same class here, you can create another class also. The instance of a class can be created either within the same class or in other classes also. Instance creation can be done. Okay. Next, if the instance is created, if the instance is created within the same class, then it should be done inside of a static block. Generally, instance creation is done inside of main method because it is a static block, and moreover, all of you read that carefully. Read it. If you are creating within the class, where you should create? Static block. You should create in a static block. Any static block. Not mandatory. You should create in main. It can be created any static block. Okay. And see, generally instance creation is done inside of main. And did I say mandatory? I did not say mandatory. Generally we do it in the main. Why? Because it's a static block, and moreover, that is the reason we do it in the main method, guys. It is not mandatory. All of you be careful. Listen to it. So what you answered? All of you said main method. Yes, guys, we do in main method. But if the question is asked, what is the question? Where do we create the instance? Don't say main method. What your answer should be? Inside a static block. And then you give the conclusion. What conclusion? Generally, we do it in the main method because main is static block. Are you clearer or not? That only, Manoj, I'm telling you. Within the class means static block only. Out of the static block, you don't create. Within the class, static block. That's all. Sir, if I create the instance in another class, if the instance is created in another class, then it can be created anywhere in that class. That is either static or non-static block also. Read the second point also carefully. Another class, guys, not in the same class. Where are you creating? Another class. Then where you can create? Anywhere in that class, guys. Static block, non-static block, anywhere you can do. Okay, don't forget this fundamental rule. Instance created in the same class should be done under static block. Instance created in another class, anywhere. No issue there. Anywhere, static block, non-static block, anywhere it can be created. So now first, I want to start from creating instance in the same class. Where shall I create? Same class, guys. Where should I create? Static block. We should create a static block. We need a static block now. Okay, write a main method. Main method is a static block only, na? That only is said you. Generally, we do in the main method because main is static block. So write a main method in the code now. Static void main. And create the instance. Already said you how to create the instance. Remember? Program P. That's your choice here. Basically, when you're typing it, guys, it will give you hints. It will give you hints also. Give an instance name like this. That's your choice. And I already said you, Visual Studio 2022 has AI, artificial intelligence. See the writing of the code also, see. Program, what is the difference? One is in Pascal case and the object name is in lowercase. Case difference is there. Is equals to, just if I use my tab key, it will write up the code. That's what I said you. 2022 has AI, artificial intelligence. It will show you the options to you. If you hit the that's not generated still. That generates when you use my tab key. See, once I press the tab key, they're writing the code for you. Are you clearer or not? Understood my point? Okay. Amulya, wait here. You learn object-oriented programming there. That's what I'm telling you all, guys. Stick to the basics. I will tell you each and every point. Day one only you say, why I can't do this, sir, and I can't answer. You should understand the basics first. This only I said you number of times. I'm telling you all the same point only. The day when you start eating food, don't plan for eating a biryani. Wait here. Wait until the time comes. Follow the rules. Follow the points. I'll give you a clarification for everything going forward. Understood? The day one, see, when I written the main method, it don't take you string arcs. I said you optional, Java it is mandatory, but I shown you in C# also. I'll tell you, wait, don't hurry. Stick to the basic fundamental. What I am telling, follow that. Okay? So going forward, I'll show you why it cannot be done, why it should be done. All the points will get a clarity. Okay? So fine. So this is the name of the instance what Visual Studio suggested. You want to leave the name. Sorry, lengthy you feel, cut short. That's your choice. No restriction for the name of the instance. Is it clear? Yes or not? And remember, I already explained you this with arrays, guys. What is that? Program P is equals to new program. What is this? Declaration. And remember, I explained you this concept with arrays to you. And you can write this code like this also, I said you. What? Program P. What is this? Declaration. Next. P is equals to new program. What is this? Initialization. Declaration and initialization are the two things what we just have. So like this, we can just write. Right now, we are combining both the two things, declaration and initialization here. Okay, we're done on the same line. Okay, next. P dot. When you say P dot, IntelliSense will come into action. Showing you, remember IntelliSense? Explain you, listing you the related members. And IntelliSense will come into action, showing you the methods what you defined in the class. See the beauty, you remember class name enough here. IntelliSense will show you each and every number that is present in the class. You define tomorrow 20, 30 methods in it. How do you remember all the names? I can't remember all the names now. Okay, if I remember class name, that is enough. Studio will tell me all the list of the methods. Not only the methods, it will also tell you what it takes, what it returns. What it takes, what it returns. Start with the first method. Look at the IntelliSense signature code. The test one doesn't take any parameter, returns void. Showing or not? No parameters, returns void. Test 2. Tell me. Returns void. Taking to uint parameters. Taking to uint parameters. Test 3. Return string. No parameters. Test 4. Tomorrow, this is how you should understand here. We are calling our own methods only, but you will call a predefined method. When you call a predefined method, what it takes, what it returns. You must verify from there. Are you clearer or not? Okay, just a second. Do you remember the try-parse method? Do you remember the try-parse method? Just check it out. What is the return type? Bool. We learned returns status true or false. What it takes. First parameter. Non-nullable string. Sorry, nullable string. Day before yesterday I explained you question mark. Reference types also will have question marks now. From C#, 8. Reference types also will have question mark. Comma. Second parameter. Out int result. Out int result means the result should come into which variable? Showing you. From here you can observe everything. So from now onwards, when you are calling a method, just verify from here. What is it returning? What is it taking? What shows first is the return type. And in the braces, what it shows is parameters. Clear? Okay. First what it shows you? Return types. In the braces, what it shows you? Parameter. In middle, what you have? In which type it is? What is the name of the method? Try-parse is the method name here. Where is it defined? Under int. Try-parse is defined under int. Return type and parameters. What it takes. Okay. So now you see P dot. When I call test. When I call the method test1. When I call the method test1. You see now. Program is a class. Test1 is the method. String void is the return type and no parameters. Clearer or not? So next time onwards, if I show you a method and ask you what is the return type, you should immediately point out What is in the first and answer the question. Clear? Yes or not? Okay. So calling it first method. No input required for that. No input required for that. So can I call it directly like that? Yes. You don't require any input for that. Okay. Just one. To hold the window, we learned na last line, right? Read line. Otherwise the window will close off. I shown you. Run it. How to run? F5. That method will print you the multiplication table of 5. Hold on, it's compiling, it's executing, takes time. Got it? Multiplication table of 5. So I can call this method for any number of times here. Whenever I call, what it will do you? Prints me multiplication table of 5. Are you clear? And the drawback is, it will print me multiplication table of 5 and 5 only. Understood or not? What is the drawback? It can print the multiplication table of 5 only. If I want a multiplication table of 6 like this now, I should write another method now. That's a headache. To make it the dynamic, we defined another method with parameters, right? We'll call that wait. Okay, look, I'm giving a line break to separate the outputs. Just to separate the outputs, let me add a line break. P dot test 2. Test 2 takes 2 parameters. First parameter, which number? For which number you want the multiplication? I want the multiplication table for 8. Second parameter, how much? 1 to what? 1 to 10 now, 1 to 15 now, 1 to 12 or 1 to 20 or you can tell now. I want up to 15. I want up to 15. So I get the multiplication table of 8 from 1 to 15. This is dynamic. Why this is dynamic? By using the same method, tomorrow I can print the multiplication table of 9 also. Yes or not? See, you just call this test 1 method one more time. One more time you call. One more time also it will print you multiplication table of 5 only. See? Yes or not? But see, I am calling this method for one more time. Which method? Test 2. And now I want to print the multiplication table of 9 up to 12. The same method now printing you the multiplication table of 9 from 1 to 12. That's what we call dynamic. See, 8 printed. But first one 2 time call is printing you 5 only. Understood the difference between static in behavior and dynamic behavior? They're not static method. This is static in behavior. That's all. Okay, done. What next? 2 methods are done. What next? 3 and 4. 3 and 4. Okay, just add a line break. Just these line breaks I'm adding only to separate the outputs, guys. Nothing. Now test 3. Test 3 is a value returning method or non-value returning method? A value returning method means that doesn't print you output, guys. That doesn't print you output. What is the meaning? You know, watch it. I'm calling it P dot test 3. I'm calling. You won't see any output on screen. Why, sir? Why no output? Array. You are calling the method, that's all. But see, inside of the method, do you have any print statement? But 1 and 2 printed, sir. 1 and 2 printed because 1 and 2 contains a print statement. Check it out. 1 and 2 contains a print statement, but 3 and 4 doesn't contain a print statement. This is a value returning method that doesn't perform any actions directly to you. It will only return the results to you. So what should I do, sir? You need to capture the result first. How? String S1 is equals to array. Read line returns a value. What you're writing? String S1 is equals to console.readline and reading the value now. Same process. String S1 is equals to P dot test 3. And then finally you should say console dot write line S1. And now you see the output. You need to capture it and again print. Okay, now you need to capture it and again print it. Next, test 4. Test 4 is nothing but a replacement for test 3, only dynamic. Yes or not? So when you come to test 4, how to do? String S2 is equals to P dot test 4 And in the previous case, we got hello world, but here I can pass whatever I want now. I'm passing hello India. Now, this is converted into uppercase and prints me the result. You pass hello India there or whatever you want, you pass it, that will print you. Converted to uppercase. Second one is a dynamic compared with the first one. First one always hello world only, but second one will convert whatever I given to uppercase. Understood or not? Are you clear calling the methods now? Okay, where did I call from? Same class. Where did I call from? Same class. We call from same class. Okay. Now understand, what is reusability? What is reusability? Reusability is a mechanism of calling the members defined in one class from another class. Object-oriented programming has reusability. What is reusability? Reusability is a concept of calling the members that are defined in one class from another class. You can call these methods from another class now. Which class? Any class you like here. Any class you like, you can call now. Point clear, all of you? I can just call it. How to call it? How can you call this, sir? I'll show you. Why not print directly? You did not write a print statement now. Where is print statement? Why will it print? Without writing a print statement, why will it print? Ganesh, check it out. Do you have any console.write line? You did not. You are writing only some logic and returning the value. You're not printing it. Because you're not printing it, that is also not printing the results to you. Understood or not? See guys, if the values are directly printed, you can't do anything with that. But if the value is returned, to you, you can do a lot with that. What I can do? Tomorrow, this result, the result of test one method. What is the result of test one? Printing multiple. I want to store this in a file, or I want to store this in a database. You can't do that. Why I can't do? How will you do? That is directly printing on screen. It is not giving to you. But understand this one. These two methods, are they printing or returning the value? Louder. Returning the value now. You captured or not? Now I want to store the value in a database. Do it. I want to store in a file. Do it. Whatever you want, you can do now. But these two methods, what will they do? Directly show output on the screen. I want to store them in a database. It's not possible. Why? The value is not in my hands. Directly on screen. But here the value is on screen or in your hands. One is comes into your hands. You print on the monitor, or you store in a database, or you store in a file, is your choice. Is it clearer or not? Okay, that's what. So you did not write print statement there. That's why I captured it. Now I have printed on the screen. Tomorrow here I'll write the code for saving the same data to a database. So it will go and sit in the database now. Point clearer, all of you? All of you will think, non-value returning methods are better, not directly printing the output. Value returning methods I should capture. It's a lengthy. But value returning methods are only correct. Because they give the value, you will print, save, you can decide yourself. Further, you can decide what to do now. But here there is no chance for decision making. Got the point or not? Okay, so that's what. Fine. So like this, we just have, we just calling. Yeah, where are we calling from? We are calling from the same class. We are calling it from the same class. And guys, remember guys, we can call it from other classes also. We can call it from other class. Reusability. Object-oriented programming provides you reusability. We can consume it from other classes. How to call from other classes? If you want to call from other classes, two options are there. Option one, inheritance. Option one is, I'm not telling inheritance now guys, because to start with inheritance, still I need to tell you a lot of things. Then I'll teach you inheritance. I need to still completely encapsulation, abstraction, all these things I need to cover here to go up to inheritance. So I'm not showing inheritance. Leave it. Second option, instance creation. Second option is, what is that? Go to the new class, create the instance of this class there and call the methods. Go to a new class, create the instance of this class there and call the methods. Shall we try that? Okay then. Let's add a new class in the project. Let us add a new class in the project. You know how to add a class in the project? How to add? Open Solution Explorer. Right. Right click on. The right click. Where should I right click? Tell me that also. Project. Right click on the project. Add. New item. Add new item. It opens an add new item window. Add new item window and will show you the items. Choose class. Come below, give a name to your class, your choice. Array, last day I did not give any name. Simply I left it class 1, class 2. But now I want to give my names now. I want to give the name as test program. The name I'm giving is test program.cs. Click on the add button. The new class is added. Okay. And what did I say? All these namespace names and all are important or not important? They are not important for us now because already we have global imports. Last class I explained you that only to all of you. Okay. Remove it here to make the code simple. Remove off. If you leave it also, nothing happens. Okay. Fine. Now come here. Write a main method. Static void main. Static void main. So this is an internal class, right? And what about program? No, yeah. This class is internal. What about program? Program is also internal only. Already said you that only now. Default is internal. If you don't write also, it is internal. Understood all of you? Even if you don't write also, that is internal only. If you want to make something like public, then write public. If you don't write, everything is by default internal. Every class is internal. Even I write also internal only. Even if I don't write also internal only. Actually, this again added in 2022 Visual Studio. Until 2019, it won't show that internal by default. Anyhow, it is internal only. But in 22 Visual Studio, Microsoft is just showing you as internal explicitly there. Even you remove that also, that is internal only, don't forget. Clearer? Okay, so that's what default is internal. Come on. What next? Yeah, I defined a main method. Now see, which class are you working now? What is your class name? Test program. But I want to call the methods that are defined in program class here. I want to call the method that defined in program class. So you're going to call the methods here? Yes, that's only reusability is. That is only reusability is. I can create the instance of program class here. See, that's what I said you. You can create the instance of the class in the same class or another class. Watch now. I'm creating another class now. I showed you both. Created in same class I shown you. Created in another class. And start calling your methods. Same style again. P dot. Test 1. Again, multiplication table of 5 only will be printed. Right or not? Okay. Just a line break to separate the outputs. Next, P dot. Test 2. And now tell me guys, I want to print the multiplication as 7 here up to 20. You printed 8 up to 15. Now 7 up to 20. That is dynamic. Okay. Again. Console.writeLine. Now to call test 3, test 4, how did you call string S1 is equals to p.test console.writeLine S1, correct? You can write in a single line. P.test 3. Array, already explained you now int.parse console.readline. First inner method will execute. The result will come and outer method will execute. Now also same p.test inner method will execute. Returns what? String. Outer method will capture the string and print it on the monitor. Okay, same as that. Console.writeLine p.test 4. For test 4, I can pass a string of my choice. I'm passing here hello world or hello America. Hello America. Okay, finally, console.readline. And how to call it? Now we'll get an error if I run the code. Multiple entry points. Now come on, how to resolve? Open the Solution Explorer. Right click. Edit project file. Edit. Or otherwise double click also. It will open. When you double click on the project also it will open. Otherwise the best option is edit project file. Double click also it opens. But why is it the second option, you know? What are you opening? You should know, nah. That's why I said you. What are you opening? You're opening the project file. You're opening the project file. And the extension of a project is .csproj. CSPROJ. PROJ is the project and C# language. Here, what did I say? Add startup object. For all of you, is a warning I'm giving to all of you. When you're typing it, don't blindly type, take the help of intelligence. Take the help of intelligence. What is that? When you're typing, you type startup object, don't type off. What you do? Take the help of intelligence. Select that option. What is that? Why, sir? Why should I take? Because it is case sensitive. If you write any wrong case, code won't execute. It is case sensitive. If you write again in the long case, the code won't execute. So that's why always in the Visual Studio, take the help of Visual Studio intelligence. So it will write you in the correct case to you. Okay, now. So select startup object. When you select startup object, it fills the blank for you automatically. Okay, now. What's it? What's the project name? What's the class name? Don't give extensions. Class name, not file name. Okay, run. Understood? Multiplication is 7 up to 20. Hello world, hello American. What, how to open? What, how to open, Shrikant? Double click on the project, that's all. Just double click on the project, it will open you. That's all. Open the Solution Explorer and double click on the project, it will open. Otherwise, the other option, what is it here? Right click, edit project file. Both will open you the project file. Okay. Wait here, wait. Okay. So we have done it. So created the instance now. Now where did I create the instance? And what did I say? If you want to create instance in another class, anywhere you can create, I said you now. Did I say static block is mandatory? I said you static, non-static, anywhere you create. Okay, if you want, check it out. Check out. I am writing a new method here, public void. The method name is any name you like. The method is static or non-static? It's non-static method now. Now I am moving this code completely. I will move into this. No error. Did you get any red lines? If you get red line, there's an error. No red line, see, valid. When you are creating in another class, anywhere you create a static block, non-static block. First I shown you static. Now I shifted to non-static. But problem now is when you do it, nothing, no error there. Problem is, if you want this code to execute, you need to call this method now. Yes or not? If you write in main, you know that your main is implicitly called. But is call method implicitly called? No, I need to call it. So if I want this code to execute, what should I do again? I should create the instance of test program. And again, I should call methods. That's mandatory. Otherwise, you won't see the output. See. Why, sir? Array, main is called, yeah, call methods is not called. So what to do? Test program, some name is equals to new test program. Next, TP dot call methods. Run this, executes. Got it? Understand the process. What are you doing first? First, what are you doing? You're first creating the instance of the current class. What is the current class? Test program. And calling call methods. Control jumps to call methods. When the control jumps to call methods, it will create the instance of program class and calls the methods of it. Array in program class, I can create instance of some other class and call the methods of some other class now. It's a cycle process. Understood or not? In program class, we did not do, but tomorrow in the program class, I can create instance of another class and call the methods of that class also. Are you clear? One by one class execution will take place for you. So I repeat again, execution starts from, execution starts from the main method of, understand carefully, okay? Point by point, I'm just telling you pointing the names to you. Execution starts by calling of test program. Execution starts from the main method of test program. What will happen? Instance of the current class test program is created. Calls, call methods, right? What will call methods do? Control jumps to call methods, creates the instance of test program and calls the methods of that, create the instance of program and calls the methods of program. Understood? Do you want to see that practically? How the control jumps now? Watch. Execution starts from where? Main method, right? From there only the flow should start now, correct? We have a concept called as debugging. We have a concept called as debugging. The debugging will show you step-by-step execution of the code, where it is starting, where it is going, everything it will show you. Are you clearer or not? How to debug, sir? If at all you want to debug, the first thing you're required to tell is from where you want to start the debugging process. From where you want to start the debugging process. You can start debugging from anywhere, but let us start the debugging from the first line. What is the first line? This is the first line. Array, execution will start from here only, na? So this is the first line, right? Correct? You need to place a breakpoint there. How to place a breakpoint? Put your cursor on that line and hit F9. Can you see a red line? That's a breakpoint. What happens, when you have a breakpoint and start the project, it will come and stop at the breakpoint. It will come and stop at the breakpoint. Execution is not going forward. See, the console window has no output. The console window has no output. Now, line by line execution takes place now. Okay. Now, how to just check it out your output? Start clicking on F10. Start clicking on F10. F10. What is F10? Step over. F10 means step over. It will go to the next line. Watch it here. See, red is an indication to tell there is a breakpoint. Yellow is an indication to tell you are on that line. Array execution is on that line. Okay, now press F10. May see that line executed and came to next line. Now which line is executing? Call methods. Okay, see now call methods is under execution, not executed. See, there is no output. Okay, now see F10. Call methods execution completed or not? Tell me. See the output on the screen now. Are you clear? Okay. And next, what is executing now? Read line. Press F10. Okay. Press F10 and see now it came out of it and the execution is completed. It came out of it and the execution is completed. One more time I'm showing you. Observe. F5 starts the debugging process and goes and stops at breakpoint. See the control stopped on breakpoint. Press F10. Next line, F10. Next line, F10. Execution completed. Output visible on screen now. Are you clear? So this is fine, but I want to see the control going to call methods, creating the instance of the program and calling the methods of the program class also now. Did you understand me or not? Array, what are we seeing is only 3 lines, but I want to see what is happening inside call methods. If you want to do that, either you pay breakpoint here. Place a breakpoint there. So compulsory will stop there now. Otherwise, without placing a breakpoint, look, watch again. F5, F10, step over. Now you want to go into the call methods and see now? Yes or not? Press F11. Press step into. Step. Understand English here. Step into the method. That's the meaning of it. Now see, F11 will take you to the method now. Watch. Where are you? See the yellow line. You came to call methods and call methods is executing. Notice that? Yes or not? Call methods is under execution now. Now you can see call methods execution now. See now? Till now no output on the screen. Okay? Next. Now F10 only. F10, F11 here. F11 will take you inside. F10 will not take you inside. That's all. F10. You came to test 1. Not executed still. Okay. F10. Test 1 completed now. Clear? Next. Right line completed. One line break printed. See, the cursor is not in the next line. Cursor is immediately in the next line. Okay. Next. Test 2. If I press F10, it will come out of the test 2 now. I want to see what is happening inside the test 2 now. I wanted to see what is happening inside the test 2. What should I press? F11. F11. Step into. Takes you. Now you can see the execution of the loop, guys. You can see the execution of the loops. You learned about loops in C language now. Your teacher have thought you are starts from here, goes here, goes here. You can practically see here now how it executes. First to see, initialization is happening now. I is equals to 1. Checking the condition. Condition true. Executes the logic, right? Comes to iteration. I++. Checks the condition. Executes the logic. I++. Are you clearer? You learned this in C language. Your teacher has shown you, drawn you diagrams and shown you. But see the beauty of Visual Studio. It will show you directly, practically all the things to you. How many times it executed now? 2 times. Yes or not? You can see our output on the screen here. You compare both the 2 things. Okay. And again, I++. Condition check. Printing. See there. Now I++. I becomes 4. Condition true. Prints. Okay now? Now in this process, you can also see the values of them. You can also see the values of them. Well, what is the current value? What is the value of X? Put your mouse on that. You're printing the multiplication of 7 na. X is 7C. What is UB? 20, huh? We given 7, 20. 20. What is the current I value? Now it printed 7 4s are 28. Now I++. I value. Are you clear? You can see each and everything like this. Again, printed you 7 5s are 35. Now see, for printing one result, I am printing F10 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Correct or not? How much you printed? Up to 6. Still 14 threes. 42 times. Still I should click on this F10 to come out here. Yes or not? I started the debugging to understand the process. I got the idea. I understood the logic now. But still I am not ready to hit on the F10 button for 42 times to come out of the method. Are you clear? Shift F11. Shift F11. What is it? Step out. Step out of the method. First F10. Step into the method. Shift F11. Step out of the method. Are you clear? So see, to come out of this particular method, directly shift F11. And you see the method execution is completed. Are you clear? Again, still right line. Again, you want to go into test 3? F11. No, sir, I don't want. Directly jump off. I want to go to test 4, F11. See there. Again, coming here, executing the code and bringing you outside. Clearer? Tell me what are the shortcut keys I said you. First one, F9. What is it? Breakpoint creation. What is that? Breakpoint creation. Second one, F5. Start now. The second one is F5. Start debugging. What is F5? Start debugging. Next, F10. What is F10? Step over. Step over. Go to next line. Next one. F11. Step into. Step into. Okay. Next. Shift F11. What is it? Step out. Okay. All the shortcuts what I said you'll find in the debug menu. You will find everything in the debug menu. Check it out. F10, F11, Shift F11. Clear? And you just have F5. Okay. Right now it's in the debugging mode. If you stop it, just a minute, guys. Stop it. If you stop it, then it will show you When you're running, it won't show you F9 again because already you're in the debug only. Breakpoint. Okay, now we'll show you F9 and F5. F5. Start debugging. Are you clear? Day before yesterday, I shown you two ways to run. Remember F5 control F5. F5 control F5. What did I say? F5 will close off the window. Control F5 will hold the window. That's what I said, you know. That is not the difference, guys. Just to make you understand, I said you that one. That's not the difference. What is the difference, you know? Just watch. See here, I can place multiple breakpoints. You don't require only one breakpoint. See, I'm placing a breakpoint here. I'm placing a breakpoint here. How many breakpoints are there? 3 breakpoints are there. Okay, now observe it all of you. F5 starts at the first breakpoint. This is the first breakpoint. From here directly I want to come to second breakpoint. From here directly I want to come to second breakpoint. Means not hitting F10, F10, F10. Did you understand me? And if I click F10, F10, it will come here. No, without clicking F10, directly I want to come to second breakpoint. F5 again. Watch. It jumped up to the second breakpoint now. Yes or not? Again F5. Third breakpoint. It will jump to the breakpoints like this now. Again F5. You don't have any breakpoints, so execution is stopped. Are you clearer or not? So now understand what is the difference between F5 and control F5. You have breakpoints now. And I said F5, stopping at the breakpoints now. And I need to execute all these breakpoints and come out. Correct? Control F5 means, all of you, control F5. Did you understand? It will not stop at any breakpoint. Start without debugging. What is that? Start without debugging. First one, start debugging. Second one, start without debugging. That is the difference. Okay. You can see in the menu, yeah, it is showing you. What is F5? What is control F5? Start without debugging. That is the difference between F5 and control F5. Otherwise, both are just debugging. Breakpoints will not be stopped for this. Tomorrow in your project, debugging is very, very important tomorrow when you work on the projects, you know, because today we are writing 10 lines, 15 lines of code here. But do you know, in the real time, if you see the project code, every class will be having thousands of lines of code. 5,000 lines, 6,000 lines of code will be there. Suddenly client reported an error. Client reported an error. I'm facing an error on this particular page. I'm facing an error here. How do you know? How do you know where the error is? And how do you know what is the error is? Debugging. You just require to place a breakpoint now, and you're required to start the debugging, and wherever the error is, it will show you the error details for you at that particular place. Are you clear? To fix the problems in the industry tomorrow, debugging is very, very important. So all of you, just go to the debug menu, watch it, and make a habit of debugging. If I tell you something, you did not understand the logic, you did not understand, put a breakpoint now, start debugging the code. I explained you for each loop, I explained you about Jack Terrace now. I shown you 4 loops to you to print the values now. Now, what you do, you know, all of you, write that code in Studio, place breakpoints now, and debug. And in the process, if you put the mouse there, it will tell you what is it returning, what are you getting, everything it will show you. Are you clear? Debug it here. If you debug, you will get a clarity. Where are you making the mistake and what is the problem? What are you expecting? What are you getting? Are you getting the correct value or not? If not, what to change? All these things you'll understand. Debugging will allow you to 2 things here. Understand the logic. Second thing, fix the bugs. Tomorrow, debugging is the way how we fix the bugs in the industry. Clearer or not? Okay, be confident on the debugging process, all of you. Make a habit of debugging the code every day. Every day, whatever it teaches you, debug. So if you debug, you will get a clarity of all the things like how the flow is going on. See, simply I'll say execution starts from here, it'll go here. But if you don't remember, but if you debug, you will know, okay, starting here, again, from there going to here. Use F11, so it will be better so that you will understand each and every step clearly. Got it or not? Okay, so that's what I'm just telling you. So just make the habit of debugging, all of you. How to place breakpoint? Breakpoint F9. Control F5 is step out. It will come out of the method. Control F5 is step out. It will come out of the method. See, I entered into test 2, test 1. I entered into test 1. The method execution is going on. See, that is a loop. Will run for 10 times. I cannot wait for it. I understood my code now. So then use what? Shift F11. Not Control F11, Shift F11. Automatically it comes out of it. Okay, now. So we have 3 breakpoints on the code now. How many? 3 breakpoints. You go to debug menu. You will have an option to delete the breakpoints also. Are you clear? Delete all breakpoints. Will delete you all the breakpoints to you. Delete all the breakpoints will delete you all the breakpoints to you. So basically, tomorrow you're just going to execute something, guys. Just all of you notice you're going to execute something. This is execution. Now this is a loop here. The loop is printing from 1 to 10, but think like the loop is printing to 1 to 10 millions. It's printing from 1 to 10 millions. Means 1 crore. It'll take a lot of time now. Yes or not? Yes or not? You can directly pull off your pointer and you can skip them. You can pull and skip them. The 2 methods are not executed. See? Where it went off? See, guys. The first 2 methods did not execute now. Are you clearer? The first 2 methods did not execute. What is executing? 3 and 4 are executing. Sir, 1 and 2, I skipped. How did I skip? Just pull your cursor there. That's all. It will skip off the execution. Did you understand or not? I'll show you again. Watch. Run. Generally, what is the process? Test 1 should execute. Test 2 should execute. Then only 3 and 4 will execute. 1 and 2 are taking a lot of time, guys. 1 and 2 are taking lot of time because there is a very big loop printing from 1 to 1 million or 1 to 1 crore, taking a lot of time. I can't wait for that much time. I can't wait. Okay, simply put your cursor, put your mouse there, drag it. That's all. Those 2 methods are skipped. Those 2 methods are not executing now. See that? They are not executed. What is executing? 3, 4. That's all. See the output, all of you. Are you clear? Okay, that's how. Hello, sir. We can create object of class in same class using same process, not getting any error. Already I said you we can create object in the same class here. Why will you get error? You can create object in same class now. Why will you get an error? Okay. So coming back. Yeah. So I want to remove all the breakpoints. So go to debug menu. Delete all breakpoints. Delete all breakpoints. Okay. All the breakpoints are going to be deleted. You have disabling option also. You can disable them and leave it. Tomorrow, again, if you want to, you can enable the breakpoints also. So I just deleted of all the breakpoints. Understood? So for you all, I'm giving you a task now. What the task is? Okay. Your previous programs, what I said, you loops and all, for loops and all. Write the code in the studio and debug here. That's one thing. Second thing is, tomorrow all of you just go to interviews. When you go to interviews, you'll be basically asked the fundamentals of the programming. Mainly as a fresher means you will be learning the complete full stack, but as a fresher, what they ask you is object-oriented programming. If you go to an interview as a fresher, the first thing they expect is object-oriented programming, because you build a web application or a mobile application or anything you build, the basic fundamentals is without knowing knowledge on object-oriented programming, you can't do this. Did you get my point or not? Say, do you get a job with the 10th class? With a 10th class degree, will you get a job? Yes, you will get as a clerk. As a clerk in an office or office boy, that's all. You won't become a manager. Yes or not? Okay, you get a job by studying your PG or graduation engineering and all, you can get a good job. Correct? Then why to study it? 10th class here, directly we can study engineering only now. Fundamentals are important. Nah? So in the 1 to 10th class, what you learn? 1 to class 2, basically what you learned? Fundamentals first. Okay, what is mathematics? What is science? What is social? That's what we learn basically. What is a language? So after that, you become a profession. Correct? So advanced like web development, mobile development, all these are important. But without having knowledge on basics, you can't develop all these things. So what they expect you from you when you go to interviews is they don't ask you about mobile developments and web developments and all here. What you're asked is only object-oriented programming. 70% of the questions will be object-oriented programming. If you clear that object-oriented programming, remaining 30% doesn't matter at all. Why that doesn't matter? He doesn't expect 100% from you. He expects only 60%. You came as a fresher, not as an experienced. If you go as an experienced developer, if you're putting some fake experience, and then you're asked about advanced. But freshers, they don't ask any of these things at all. Are you clear? So that's why I'm telling you, be regular in the classes. I'm just noticing some of you, coming one day, 2 days you won't come again. Why are you coming to the classes here? Why you came here? What, just to attend the class? Be regular in the class here first. That must be present first. You come one day, 2 days you're absent again. I can point and tell you the faces also. Who was absent yesterday? Okay, see, I don't want to make you feel bad. That's your say. You are paid the money. I don't have any loss. That's what I said to you. I don't have any loss. You don't come to the class also, end of the day, end of the month, I'll get my salary. Yes or not? You paid your fees. I will get the salary. Who is the loser here? Am I the loser? Eh? You are the loser. Think that one first. You're paying money. You came here. You're staying here. You're investing all the money. And don't be regular in the classes. That it's just not going to be right. Online students, mainly online students, I want to tell one thing. See, when I started the session or in between, I just went the count to 126. Now 115. The people go out of the class. As you feel like you understand everything, you go out of the class. Works will be present here, everyone. But this is your career. Don't forget. Your career is important. Then other works, you have some other work. First, your class is important, not other works. Put your focus on that. Okay, just be strong on object-oriented programming. Every point I say you, each and everything, make a note. Everything will be in the notes. So I say read carefully. And that should be registered in your mind. Are you clear? And I don't say mug up. If you mug up, you can't answer. Understand the concept. That's what. So do practical implementation. Sit on the system so that you will get errors. When you get errors only, you understand the subject correctly. If you don't get errors means you never understand. I will write 100 lines, 200 lines, 300 lines of code. I won't get errors because I'm used to it. I'm working on it 15 years. I'm teaching. I don't get any error. Okay, but that's not the case with you. I'm seeing now in the WhatsApp group, you're seeing now everyone cases, simple, silly mistakes. Silly mistakes you're making. I clearly said you keywords in lowercase. Still someone will type static yes, S in capital. And sir, I'm getting error. Okay, minimum fundamentals. Somebody declared yesterday. What is this here? Bool B. What is this? You don't have sense there. Eh? Bool B, you're combining up both the two things. Bool is a data type. B is a variable. You combine both the two things. How will it compile? Clearly showing you now. Read the error message. See the WhatsApp group. Yesterday someone posted this one. Okay, error message is clearly telling you now, pointing and showing you where is the error. Still you post and say, I'm getting error. Someone help me. First, you resolve it. You try to understand the problem first. Is it a mistake or not? What is the mistake? Bool is a data, B is your name. You combine both the two things, how will it execute? Yeah. You will mix curd, sambar, everything and eat food. Everything will be separate. All the things you cannot mix at a time and eat. Nah. So that's what. Follow where the error, red line showing you, compile showing you. First go and try. Then you come to the help of others. That's what I'm saying you. Okay? Yeah. Yeah. Another important thing what I want to tell you guys is basically when you go to interviews tomorrow, I said you, they don't expect you any advanced programming. What they ask is only basic fundamentals. Just be strong in the fundamentals. If at all, from the last 1-2 years, from the last not like 1-2 years here, the industry changed. Before this lockdown, when you go to interviews, they used to have a machine test. They used to have a written test and all these things. But from 2 years, what happened here? Because after lockdown, many companies have stopped recruitment. Initial stages of the lockdown, recruitments are stopped. What they thought, they did not think like 2 years, 3 years, it will continue. Initially, what we thought, 15 days lockdown, okay, over, corona is over, we'll just come into normal stage, we thought. Yes or not? That extended, going on. Second wave, third wave, fourth wave, they're expecting another fourth wave now. So don't know. So Now we need to get used to it. We need to get used to it. Now it became part of your life. That's all. You need to stay along with it. Okay, there is no alternative for this. But initially we don't know. So that way initially what companies have done is the companies did not do recruitments initially. So what they thought, that the situation will become normal again. So people will come back and this is the plan. So 1 year recruitments did not go. All the companies, 1 year recruitment did not go. After they realized that this is not going to stop, this is a continuous flow, we need to live with it. Now companies started recruitments. When companies started recruitments, because they did not fill the gaps from last 1 year, recruitments are very high in the industry now. Very high. How means? With the basic knowledge also, no written test, no machine test. So on the spot appointment letters are given. This is happening from the last 6-7 months. They are happening in the industry. Even big companies like Wipros and all, multiple tests are not there. Only one, directly one test, take, recruit that. Okay. And salary hikes also very high. With 3-4 years of experience also, people are earning 12 to 15 lakhs packages now. Earlier 2-3 years experience means they used to get 6 lakhs here. 5 lakhs, 6 lakhs, 6 lakhs means great. But today with 2-3 years of experience also, they're demanding 12 to 15 lakhs. Hikes are very much high. But this is a danger. That is a danger. That's a bubble. Will blast any point of time. Will blast any point of time. Okay. So what I'm telling you is, going forward, now the companies are open. The companies are open now. And everyone is asking the people to come to offices, except big MNCs here. Big MNCs like Oracle, Microsoft, Wipro, Infosys, they are not calling. Why they are not calling is, they have global policies, not applied for India. The policy applies for the throughout the world. So if the company, see in UK cases are high. So in UK offices are not open. So in India also they won't open now. There's a global policy, but normal CM 5 level companies, which are just only restricted to India, all companies are open now. All companies are open and they're expecting you come back to offices again. So going forward, the interview process will go to normal stage again. You'll have machine test again. You will have written test again. All these things will be there. Okay, going forward, by the time you come out, all these things will happen. So well prepare with the programs, what I'm telling you, and be confident on the machine test first. Okay, all of you listen to the classes, you won't understand until you put it into implementation. Spend time on the system in practicing everything, whatever I shown you. Okay. And when you ask you about any written test or anything, some simple programs like printing prime numbers, Fibonacci series, these type of programs will be asked for you. Okay. So for you to practice, I'm not teacher, for you to practice, in the end of your notes, I've given you some 30 to 40 logical programs for you to practice. In the end of the notes, I've given you some 30-40 logical programs for you to practice. So what is the task I'm giving you is, take a new project, parallelly, take a new project, logical programs, give some name to it, some logical programs. And now start practicing these particular programs. First one, prime number test or not. This is a code. How to understand here? That's what I explained to you. Debug. Place breakpoints now. Debug. Check what is happening. Okay. So just to try to debug. Every day, take one program as a target. Only one program. Every day, your regular practice plus focus on this. One program. You should be in a position to write the code without looking into the notes. Clearer? Don't read or don't mug up here. If you mug up, you will not be able to write. Understand the logic. So to understand the logic, I'm telling you, debug the code. If you debug, you'll understand. See, I've given you 40-50 programs to you for you like this. So swapping numbers, writing the code in different ways. Okay. Say a program for printing the binary values, palindrome. Okay. So not only this, and pattern programs, I've given lots of programs for you to practice. Nearly some 40 programs will be there. You can just check out all this and take every program as a target every day and start practicing them. Clear. Pattern printings also I've given you. Not only the one, pattern printings, printing outputs, like in different patterns. All these things are given. Okay, na? So just have a look on this. Not only this, sorting algorithms also. Sorting, bubble sort, quick sorts, all these things. How do you write with C#? That also given you. Bubble sort, selection sort, insertion sort, shell sort, okay, quick sort. Different programs are just available to you. Just do practice of them. Clear? Tomorrow, if you go to written test, these are the questions that what will they ask you. These are all for your interview point of view are given you. Clear? Practice them. Let's stop here, guys. We'll meet tomorrow.